Have you ever wondered how vast the U.S. military's global presence truly is? It's no secret that the United States has an expansive military reach, but the sheer scale of it may surprise you. With around 750 bases scattered across the globe, America's military footprint is truly colossal. These bases dot the landscapes of more than 70 countries, spanning every continent except Antarctica. From the bustling streets of Germany to the serene landscapes of Japan, the U.S. military's presence is both far-reaching and influential. These bases aren't just random outposts. They play a vital role in shaping international politics and military strategies. They serve as critical hubs for intelligence, training, and rapid response to crises. They are the tangible proof of America's commitment to its allies and its resolve against potential threats. So let's dive into the history and understand how we got here. Our journey begins in the late 19th century with the establishment of the first overseas bases. As the United States emerged as a new global power, the Spanish-American War in 1898 presented an opportunity to establish its first overseas military bases. This war fought over the liberation of Cuba from Spanish control, not only ended Spain's colonial rule in the Americas, but also marked the beginning of the United States' global military presence. In the aftermath of the war, the United States secured the rights to establish military bases in Cuba and the Philippines. The establishment of these bases was a clear indication of America's intention to project its power and influence far beyond its own shores. The base at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba was strategically located at the entrance to the Caribbean Sea, allowing the United States to monitor and control this vital waterway. Similarly, the bases in the Philippines were located at the crossroads of the Pacific, providing a platform for the United States to project its power across this vast ocean. These bases were much more than just military installations. They were symbols of American power and influence, visible reminders of the United States' growing global reach. They served not only as staging areas for military operations but also as platforms for diplomatic engagement and economic influence. The strategic importance of these bases was underscored during both World Wars and the Cold War, as they played pivotal roles in the United States' global military strategy. From these bases, the United States was able to project its power across vast distances, intervening in conflicts far from its own shores. But as the world changed, so did the purpose and location of these bases. The end of the Cold War and the shifting geopolitical landscape of the 21st century have led to significant changes in the role and location of America's overseas bases. As the world changed, so too did the purpose and location of these bases. The Second World War and the Cold War marked a significant expansion in the number and scope of overseas bases. This was a time of monumental geopolitical change, and the United States was at the heart of it, establishing a global network of military installations. Let's take a moment to focus on Europe first. As World War II raged on, the U.S. set up numerous bases across the continent, from the United Kingdom to Italy. These bases were initially established to support the war effort against the Axis powers. However, their purpose evolved dramatically with the onset of the Cold War. They became strategic locations to contain the spread of Soviet influence and communism throughout Europe. Take, for example, the Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Established in the late 1940s, it served as a crucial outpost during the Cold War, enabling the U.S. to maintain a robust military presence in the heart of Europe. It remains one of the largest American overseas bases today, testament to its enduring strategic importance. Moving on to Asia, the pattern was quite similar. At the close of World War II, the U.S. established bases in Japan and South Korea, among other locations. These bases were crucial during the Korean War and the Vietnam War, serving as launch pads for American military operations. They also played a significant role in deterring potential aggression from the Soviet Union and its allies. The Kadena Air Base in Okinawa, Japan is a prime example of this. Established shortly after World War II, it was instrumental during the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and throughout the Cold War. Today it remains a cornerstone of American military strategy in Asia, underlining the enduring significance of these overseas bases. In essence, the bases established during and after World War II were not just about waging wars. They were and continue to be about maintaining a strategic global presence, about deterrence, and about projecting power. These bases became integral to the U.S.'s global military strategy. With the end of the Cold War, the purpose and necessity of these bases came into question. But as history has shown, the world doesn't stand still, and neither does the role of the United States on the global stage. In the wake of the Cold War, the focus of the US military began to shift. Some bases were closed, others were repurposed or downsized. For example, the US base in Subic Bay, Philippines, once a strategic hub during the Cold War, was closed in the early 90s. But let's not mistake closure for abandonment. These changes were strategic, a response to a world that was, itself, changing. And yet, as some bases closed, others took on new importance. The world was moving into an era dominated not by superpower standoffs, but by regional conflicts and non-state actors. This brought about a new role for these overseas bases. In the post-Cold War era, these bases have become essential platforms for the projection of American military power. They've played a crucial part in the war on terror, providing launch points for operations in Afghanistan, Iraq, and beyond. They've been hubs for intelligence gathering, tactical support, and rapid response in times of crisis. Bases in places like Germany, Japan, and South Korea have not only remained active, but have taken on new significance as the nature of global threats has evolved. They've become a testament to enduring alliances and a symbol of America's commitment to maintaining global peace and stability. But it's not just about combat. These bases also play a vital role in humanitarian missions. When disaster strikes, be it a typhoon in the Philippines or an earthquake in Haiti, it's often the men and women stationed at these bases who are first on the scene, providing aid and support. So, while the Cold War may be over, the importance of these bases is far from diminished. They've adapted, evolved, and continue to play a crucial role in a complex, interconnected world. Even in a changing world, these bases remain a cornerstone of American military power. Today, the U.S. military's global footprint is larger than ever. With around 750 bases dotting the globe, the United States maintains a presence on every continent. These bases vary in size and purpose, from massive hubs like Ramstein Air Base in Germany to smaller, more specialized facilities such as Thule Air Base in Greenland. Maintaining these bases is no small task, and it comes with a significant cost. Estimates vary, but it's safe to say that the annual price tag runs into tens of billions of dollars. This hefty expenditure has, unsurprisingly, sparked controversy. Critics argue that it's a misuse of resources, asserting that the money could be better spent on domestic priorities like education, healthcare, or infrastructure. The controversy doesn't stop at financial matters. The presence of American military bases overseas has often been met with resistance from local populations. Concerns about environmental damage, sociocultural disruption, and violations of national sovereignty have led to protests in places like Okinawa, Japan, and Jeju Island, South Korea. However, it's crucial to understand that these bases play a significant role in global security and diplomacy. They serve as deterrents to potential adversaries, provide rapid response capabilities in times of crisis, and allow the U.S. to project its power and influence around the world. Looking ahead, the future of these bases remains uncertain. With the shifting geopolitical landscape and the rise of new powers, we may see some bases close while others expand. Technology too plays a role. With advancements in remote warfare and drone technology, the necessity of physical bases could decrease. On the flip side, the emergence of new domains of warfare like cyber and space might necessitate new types of bases. As we look to the future, the role and importance of these bases will continue to evolve. Their presence, controversial as it may be, is a testament to the far-reaching influence of the U.S. military, an influence that is likely to persist in the years to come. From their first establishment in the late 19th century, overseas bases have played a crucial role in projecting American military power. We've traced their evolution, from the initial outposts established in the wake of the Spanish-American War, through the massive expansion during World War II and the Cold War, right up to their current presence in over 70 countries. These bases have always adapted to the changing needs of the times. They've been platforms for power projection, hubs of logistical support, and even launch pads for humanitarian missions. Now, as we look to the future, they are set to play an even more significant role. With emerging challenges like cyber warfare, these bases will evolve, becoming centers of technological innovation and cybersecurity. As we continue to navigate a complex and changing world, these bases will remain a key part of the U.S. military's global strategy.